Hey guys, it's Will from Tested.
And it's Norm from Tested.
Norman Chan, you're wearing a silly hat.
It's called a helmet.
Why are you wearing a helmet?
Safety first, that's why.
Safety is your middle name, I know.
Safety always.
Norm, why are you being safe? Is it because of this thing?
Yes, because for the past few weeks I've been riding the Boosted, and it's an electric skateboard. Let me repeat that. An electric skateboard.
Hold on. I've seen this. So that means you can go anywhere you want above any surface, but it has to be powered if you want to go above water.
That's called the hoverboard.
Oh.
It's not 2015 quite yet.
Okay, so what is this?
Very soon. This is from a company called Boosted. It's a bunch of guys in Stanford, Palo Alto. They did a Kickstarter a couple years ago. They designed to be an electric skateboard. They want to attach motors to a longboard.
This is a longboard.
It definitely is a longboard.
And guess what is right here?
There are two motors.
They look like giant quadcopter motors.
I think they basically are.
Yeah.
They're Outrunners brushless motors,
Yep.
two of them, 1,000-watt motors. When they launched this as a Kickstarter, hugely successful. A lot of people bought them.
How many people bought them?
A couple hundred.
So they raised like $50,000 or something?
No, it was a couple $100,000.
Oh, okay.
That's because when they sold this, MSRP, it was a $2,000 skateboard.
Wow!
But that was really expensive.
What do skateboards normally cost?
Like a good one? I don't know, $200?
Like $150, $200?
Yeah, something like that.
Wow, that's pretty expensive. Okay.
But they have a whole new line out this year, so they actually have 3 models that start. One starts at $1,000. This is the high-end model, the Boosted Plus, 2 Plus, which has 2 motors. They're 1,000 watts. They've engineered it so it can go faster than their stock model. And
what changes between the models? Is it just the number of motors? The battery and stuff is the same?
Battery stuff is the same. The lowest end one, which is $1,000, has 1 motor.
Okay.
The second tier one, which I believe is $1,300, has 2 motors, but it isn't capped at 1,000 watts. And then this is 1,000 watt, fully powered, which is the Plus, which I believe is $1,500.
Okay. And 1,000 watts is the battery capacity?
That's the motors, the
okay.
motor power. So here's how it works. You can't just strap motors onto wheels and call them a skateboard. I guess you could. It wouldn't be very
You'd have
fun.
to have some kind of gearing because the kind of motors that are going to fit on here aren't going to provide the torque you need to take off when you put a giant Lardo like me on it.
Right. They wanted to make this feel like a longboard that anyone who's ridden a longboard would be comfortable with. So design it as a longboard first. So
and they chose a longboard, I presume, because people use them to like commute from where the bus or train drops them off the last mile to their house.
Right. The type of boarding you do with a longboard is what they wanted to power. Because you're not going to be doing tricks with this. This is not for grinding. You can't kick the back of it.
You can't do some rip and shreds, bro.
Nope.
I see people like carrying a surfboard and going down to the beach with this kind of skateboard.
That's right. Exactly. And we're commuting. So it's a longboard. It's a custom board, so it's not like they just got this deck and put it on, because if you can see on the top, and I'm not going to peel it back, there are actually 4 ridges here. Can you feel that? 4 ridges?
Ooh.
And that's because they've actually milled into the board the wiring to connect 2 batteries.
Oh, okay. So this stuff in the front is electronics, and without doing that, they wouldn't have a way to get the energy to the back.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Exactly, because they wanted a a narrow profile. They didn't want the battery to be bulky enough so that when you skate over something, you would knock it.
Well, and they don't want it to poke out the top, obviously, either. This board's really springy. Are all longboards springy like this, or some of them more rigid?
Some of them are more rigid. I am not a longboarder traditionally. This is like my first time on something like this.
You're more of a car rider usually.
Car driver, bus rider, train rider, plane flyer. The amount of flex you have on it gives you, lets you change the amount how you can turn, and it gives you just more versatility in how you skate.
A little softer, more comfortable ride, maybe.
Yep. And it's like suspension almost. But the actual thing suspensions are the trucks, which is what's attached to the board.
That's where the wheels go.
These are, I believe, are custom trucks. Obviously, the back one, this little drivetrain here, is custom.
The front one looks off the shelf, but the back one, it might have some sort of stuff. This looks like a totally custom design.
Yeah, and then the wheels, of course, are also 2 of them are standard and 2 are custom.
And they just modify. They're not making their own wheels. It doesn't look like. It looks like they just take off the shelf wheels and then modify them to work with the drivetrain.
These, I believe, are orangutan 75 millimeter wheels, and in the back you can actually see that there's a mechanism here so it can be driven
they just
by
put they drilled, it looks like 6 holes through the plastic of the wheels so that they could connect the drivetrain to the wheel and make it turn.
And the drivetrain it's simple. It's just cables. It's just
belts.
Belts, yes, 2 belts connected to the motors. They're exposed, but not at risk of being torn.
And they're gear belts too. They're not just flat. It's not just friction. There's gears on here. You said you didn't notice it slipping at all.
They weren't slipping. I haven't had to tighten them yet. It's something, maintenance is something you will have to do on this.
And they're replaceable by the user, presumably, if you need to replace them at some point?
You can tighten them. You can replace the wheels yourself as well. The only thing you can't really service is the battery. But the battery theoretically lasts up to 5 years if you ride it regularly, several hundred charge cycles.
It's lithium polymer or lithium ion?
It's a lithium battery.
So 1,500 charge cycles depending on how hard you charge it, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
Many charge cycles. And you will be charging this because if you want to use this as a commuter board, your range is going to be basically one trip each direction. 6 miles, 6 to 7 miles, based on a 185-pound rider, and also your speed. So let's talk about the actual riding aspect.
Yeah. How do you control this thing? Do you just lean or something?
No, it's not
Brain
a Segway.
power?
It's not gyro controlled. It's controlled with a remote. So this is a Bluetooth remote.
Okay.
They prototyped many of these, and this is the design they came up with, which I think it's okay. It's not the most ergonomically comfortable remote. There's a trigger here, which is not the accelerator trigger. This is called a dead man's trigger.
Okay.
So you can only activate it by holding the trigger down, and then you actually accelerate or brake using this jog dial.
Okay, so hold on. Let's just test.
Nope.
No wheels.
Whoa.
Whoa, yeah, the wheels are on the table.
I'm gonna flip this upside down.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, so the wheels only go, and if I let off, it just kind of coasts to a stop.
That's right.
Now, the board itself presumably is like splash-proof, waterproof, all that stuff. Is the remote too?
No.
Okay.
It's the remote. If you dunk this in water, you'd be hosed.
So don't wipe out and splash into a puddle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Throw this away. I mean, you can actually attach it to your wrist. You
Oh.
attach it to a wristband.
So it's like a Wiimote, so you don't fling it into your TV.
Kind of.
Okay.
Exactly. It does let you check the power status. So right now I'm at 5 bars of power.
Okay.
And you can also tap this button 3 times to change into one of 4 speeds. I'll go to speed 2.
Okay.
The different power levels determine your max speed, from whether that's 15 miles per hour all the way to 22 miles per hour, and also how much torque you get for going up hills.
So yeah, I mean, I assume you use that more. I can't imagine you want to ride this thing at 22 miles an hour.
Some people
Unless
might.
you're going down hills or something.
They say that most people ride longboards around 16 miles per hour, and I didn't really clock myself with,
you didn't have a radar gun.
I didn't have a radar gun,
Okay.
but I was maxing out at level 2 comfortably.
Did you feel scared?
I definitely felt scared getting on for the very first time.
Okay.
There is a learning curve if you've never ridden a longboard before, and there's almost no learning curve if you have ridden a longboard before. It's maybe, for me, it took about 2 hours to get used to. And then since then, I've been riding it regularly and having a lot of fun with it. For my housemate who rides his longboard regularly, it's pro at it.
It's his mode of transportation.
It's a mode of transportation for anything, for a mile. It took him maybe 10 minutes to get used to this.
And so when he rode, I mean, I know you're not going to step off and kick, but is he still able to step off and kick, or did the motors add enough tension to the board that it doesn't feel right?
You can step off and kick. If you're going on a flat surface, no problem. You get more resistance. That's just because of the motors. That's not for the battery regeneration.
Right. Just I mean, if you turn this wheel and you turn this wheel, this feels like a super smooth skateboard bearing, and then the one with the motor feels like it has a brushless motor attached.
Plus, it's heavier too. This is 15 pounds. But what you shouldn't do is you shouldn't alternate using the motor and kicking at the same time. You shouldn't kick and then boost with the motor.
So it's either or.
It's either or your mind's getting really confused.
Both feet on the board before engaging the turbo boost.
That's right.
Okay.
And it's pretty good torque. I mean, it's instantaneous.
You mean to see if I can hold on? And
You shouldn't hold on.
What could possibly go wrong?
At all.
Okay.
So in my testing, I was able to get 6-7 miles no problem. I mean, I'm 160 pounds.
And this is mostly flat, like
mostly
San Francisco flat or San Francisco hills?
Both, a combination. I will go down from my house along the beach in the Golden Gate Park. There's a big steep hill there. You do have to transition to different power levels by stepping off the board. You can't mid-power acceleration.
You can't even do it while you're coasting?
You can kind of do it while you're coasting, but you'd have to release all the triggers.
Okay.
So you find the power level you're comfortable with and then ride with that.
How about stopping and stuff like that? Like when you're going down hills, will it brake for you?
You basically go in reverse. You just jog down the other direction, and that will brake, and that will actually regenerate the battery a little bit. But you don't want to be too aggressive.
And you don't want to be going down a crazy steep hill like Fillmore Street in San Francisco or Lombard, I assume.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. If you do run out of power while riding this, you can carry around. It is 15 pounds. I think that's too heavy to walk around all day with it. I know they have pictures of people with this strapped on their backpacks. I think that's silly. I think if you want to carry this on a bus or a train, no problem. Walk a block or two, no problem. But to have it with you all day, this is too heavy.
It seems like if you live, say, in San Francisco, it would be BART, but the subway or whatever in New York or Metro in DC.
Right.
But it's too far to walk. And then on the other end, you'd have to take a bus or something. This would save you a bus ride on the other end of your commute.
And it's easier than attaching a bicycle to a bus, the front of a bus, or mounting on a vehicle. And you can just chuck this in a car. The trunk
It'll
of a
sit
car.
between your legs on the train. Okay, so $1,500 is pretty expensive. But when you compare it to the cost of if this takes out public transportation from your commute, then you're looking at say $5 a day here minimum for Muni, more if you're riding BART, 200 days a year, you pay for it in 2.5 years?
Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. I think
you can use it for more than just that.
Exactly. You can have fun with it on the weekends. You can, even if you drive, I keep this in the back of my car now, so if I find a cool place, I can just skate and and have fun with it.
I saw a random person using one of these the other day in San Francisco.
It's a surreal experience. You see them, skating with this. It's definitely a head turner. People are wondering. They first of all, you look like a normal longboarder, but then once they realize you're not putting your foot on the ground, and then you're also going up hills. Or sometimes I walk on the street if I'm not comfortable skating in the middle of traffic, and I have this on next to me, and just have it like a puppy.
Oh, it just follows you.
Just following me. Yeah.
It doesn't steer though.
It does not steer on its own.
Oh, that would be great if it did. Yeah. I think it's a really neat product. I think at $1,500 it's a hard sell for a lot of people.
It is.
But I think the more they sell, I would assume that the costs are going to come down over time, especially as the big motors get cheaper and the batteries get cheaper.
I think the range on the battery is great right now.
6 miles seems pretty good for most urban folk.
I would hope that what they would do is probably use less battery and make it way less.
How long does the battery take to charge?
90 minutes.
Oh, that's not too bad.
But I charge it, I don't drain it all the way down before recharging it, so about an hour.
Okay, so you just leave the charger at home, you don't need it, and you're not really using it for commuting.
I'm not using it for commuting. It's recreational. I have used it to run errands, go to a grocery store, and come back with 2 grocery bags and just.
Do you carry them or do you just put them on the board?
Oh, no, carry them.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the boosted board. How much was this one that you reviewed again?
This one's $1,500, but it starts at $1,000. And I think if you have the money to spend, it's really fun. It's tuned well, and it's just looks magical.
It seems like you really had a lot of fun with it. We'll be back with more on Tested soon. See you guys later.
Bye.